Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing a group of cards that's perfect for this week of love that we are celebrating. Valentine's Day is this week here in the United States, but these cards are also perfect year-round for telling somebody that you love them or just saying thank you. I think hearts are always in season, and pink is one of my favorite colors, so you're never going to get me to stop using that color. Now, these cards are actually 4-bar size cards, and they're the measurements are cheated just a little bit to make my scoring a little bit easier. So I've cut this Neenah Solar White Heavyweight cardstock to 10 inches by 3.5 inches, and I'm scoring these at 5 inches, and that creates a 5 by 3.5 inch card. And these are kind of a fun mini size card, or they work great if you have elements that are kind of hanging over the edge. You can still use your A2 size envelopes. Now, to add a little bit of texture and interest on these cards, I am using my scoreboard to add 3 scored lines onto these cards. So I've opened this up to the inside of the card and I've just created 3 scored lines. I didn't really pay attention to the measurements. I just kind of did what looked good. And then I have that really cool textural effect on these cards. It really does make a huge impact in person. Now, I am using the Scripty Hearts Die from the Stamp Market and the Stamp Market Blush cardstock, and I'm die cutting this heart. I'm going to die cut several of these from both the blush cardstock and the bubblegum cardstock. And these pinks from the Stamp Market are like perfection. They are some of my favorite cardstocks and ink colors, and so I've just gone ahead and die cut a bunch of these. Now, you can absolutely leave these as they are. They're absolutely adorable, but I thought I would add just a touch of ink blending onto the edge of one side of each of these hearts. So I am using the coordinating Stamp Market inks in bubblegum and blush pink, and I'm just blending onto one side of these hearts, and I'm using the Stamp Market blending brushes to do these. I do have a non-stick craft mat underneath so that I can save my work surface from getting ink on it, and this makes cleaning between colors a real breeze. And you'll notice I'm just taking a dry paper towel to wipe up that darker pink before I start blending with the lighter blush pink. Now, to prevent my fingers from getting inky, I actually just have a piece of Post-it tape over those fingers that I'm using to hold my heart in place as I ink blend. And that works really well in these situations. It also keeps from getting fingerprints into your ink blending. Some of your wetter dye inks, some of the dye inks that stay wet for a little bit longer, especially like distress inks, can pick up fingerprints. So I just didn't want that to happen, and I wanted to keep my fingers nice and clean. Now, the sentiments that I'm using for today's card, both of these come from the Stamp Market's Simply Said stamp set. Now, say that 10 times fast. And it actually has coordinating dies to die cut these sentiments out. And I love die cut sentiments. I love them so much that sometimes I even fussy cut sentiments when I don't have coordinating dies. And I've prepped the surface of my vellum with my powder tool, and I've inked up these stamps using some VersaMark ink, stamped them onto my vellum, and I've added the Brutus Monroe Gilded embossing powder, and now I'm heat setting those to give me a beautiful metallic gold sentiment on this vellum. And then I will take the coordinating dies that are sold separately and line those up, hold them in place with a little bit of Thermoweb purple tape, and I'm going to run those through my Gemini Junior to die cut those. And you could use any die cut machine that you have. I love my Gemini Junior though. If you ever can get your hands on one, I highly recommend. So once I get all of the sentiments die cut, I am going to use some foam adhesive to adhere my hearts. And in order to do this, I'm just going to cut my foam adhesive into some thin strips. And if I remove the backer from this actually makes this foam tape really bendable or malleable where I can kind of go around those corners and shape this into the heart shape that I need. So this is a great trick for when you're working with foam tape. If you'll just remove the backer. Now you have to kind of be careful that you're not touching the adhesive part too much and removing all of the stick, but removing that backer will make it more bendable where you can kind of curve it around curves and that sort of thing. Makes it a little easier to work with, and this can especially be helpful with shaker card windows and that sort of thing. So I'm going to add my foam tape onto the back of my hearts and place those onto my card. And you can see I actually let that bubblegum one kind of come from inside the card and hang over. I thought that was kind of cool. And then I will adhere my sentiment on with some more foam tape. And I'm just kind of hiding the little strips of foam tape behind the embossing that I've done, and then I'm adhering that onto my card. Now I've gone ahead and put together all of the cards. Much of them are in the exact same way. They just have a little slightly different layout. And then I'm going over all the hearts with my tonic aqua shimmer pen to give them a little bit of shimmer. And you can see the different variations of the cards that I have here. Now I finished these off with a little bit of black and white baker's twine at the top. I just really felt like these cards needed some touch of black, and I thought that baker's twine was the perfect way to finish these off. As always, I will have links to the featured products used in these projects in the description at YouTube, but head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Over there, I'll have more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies for you. As always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you won't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.